So you want to learn how to play Elsa Bloodstone, huh? Fellas, how in the hell are we doing here today? If you can't already tell by the title of this video, today we're going to be going over some tips, tricks, and helpful information on the brand new Season 6.5 character, Elsa Bloodstone. Now, I don't make these videos for every single character on the game. I only do it for people that I feel like I have a real solid grasp or understanding of. So much so to the point that I feel like I've got information that I could share with some people, especially because the season's so brand new. People are still kind of figuring out how to play her. So yeah, that's what we're here to do today. Just to share the wealth, you know, help people out, maybe with some things that they didn't know or whatever. And there's a lot of things that the game doesn't outright tell you about her kit, just in the like general information and all that. So just wanted to kind of go over some things that I found and some things that worked for me, and hopefully you'll learn something or a thing or two that might help you out in your gameplay. For starters here, we're not going to be going over all the attacks and abilities and stuff, because it just takes way too long. If you can't just sit here and read what all this stuff does, then we've honestly got way bigger problems. Just come back to this video at a later time. We're just gonna get right into it with like tips and things that I think might be helpful in overall gameplay. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. For starters, I just wanna kind of go over the quote unquote rollout for Elsa, because she's a highly mobile character, and while she's not maybe as crazy as someone like Spider-Man or Venom, she's able to get out of spawn and to the point ridiculously fast if you're able to string all these things together properly. So right out of the gate, she has 3 different dashes, 1, 2, and then the follow-up will count as a third one. And it's super self-explanatory, all right? Just comboing all of these together, 1 dash, 2 dash, follow up. Now this might seem pretty self-explanatory, but depending on the terrain on whatever map you're playing, if it's flat or downhill coming out of spawn, you're able to chain your momentum pretty well into 1 or 2 bunny hops that send you flying even further. And all of this together essentially cuts your travel time in half. If you added a Jeff Bubble speed boost on this too, it'd possibly send you even further, but I just personally haven't tested that myself. The bounce also seems pretty easy, but it actually has to be timed perfectly or it just completely kills any momentum you've built up. You almost have to press it like right before you hit the ground, so it wouldn't hurt to hit the practice range and practice this for yourself to really get the timing down. This also only works in this specific ability order too. I don't know what the buttons are in console, but for me on PC, you can't do the E dash then left shift. You have to left shift first because the follow-up dash is the only one that will set the bounce in motion. While we're just talking about it too, the left shift dash only works horizontally, but you can use the E dash plus the follow-up vertically to reach most heights on any map, which is pretty good. Next, just to wrap up the dash portion here, I just want to go over the left shift because it's actually an insanely huge part of her overall kit. This ability, Helix Advance, works in tandem with her passive ability, Inherited Instinct, which is shown at the bottom of your screen under the health bar. This bar is broken up into 3 sections, and whenever you deal damage, it slowly adds progress onto the bar, while a kill will grant you 1/3 of it fully charged. Every time you fill up one of these sections, it decreases the recharge time of your Helix Advance dash by a whole 2 seconds, which is absolutely crazy. It starts off at 8 seconds, then works its way down to 6, 4, and finally 2 once the bar is full. So this means you'll have your dash back every 2 seconds, but more importantly, you'll gain 40 shield every 2 seconds. 40 shield may not seem like a lot, but it's actually an insane amount considering how fast you get it and knowing you can just keep spamming it. It makes Elsa's survivability really strong. This bar also never goes back down. The only way you can take away from it is by dying, but even still, it only takes away 1/3 at a time, not the entire thing. Next, I want to go over the right click ability, or Living Bullet. This doesn't have to be a direct shot in order to hit people. You can shoot this at surfaces close to enemies and it will ricochet back to the closest people. So don't ever try to just shoot straight at somebody unless you got like a perfectly lined up shot in case you miss and it just goes flying super far away. Just try to shoot it at like a wall, or I like shooting it at people's feet to guarantee it'll hit. It also doesn't just apply on 2 people. If there's enough enemies grouped up, it'll apply to 3, 4, or even 5 of them depending on how close they are to where it lands. And this also works around corners or even shields too, if you're able to hit a wall behind the shield. Next, we're just going to go over the primary attacks real fast because this is something that caught me off guard when I really started to test it. So the shotgun and rifle are hit scan, and the rifle only comes out for 1 shot whenever you use a dash, which naturally makes you think that the rifle is crazy strong, but that's really not the case at all. As we can see here from 10 meters out, A shotgun headshot lands for roughly 175, while the rifle from the same distance only hits for about 75, which simple math will tell us is a whole 100 HP less. I don't know why the description hypes this thing up like, oh, it pierces enemies with high damage. No, it is so incredibly worse than the shotgun, it's almost laughable. It's not the biggest deal in the world because Elsa still pumps out insane damage numbers overall, but it's definitely good to know because I'm sure most people think that the rifle's 10 times better. Also, like most heroes, her bullet damage for both weapons drops off exponentially every 10 meters. But with how you want to play her anyways, you're not going to be sniping across map or anything. You're going to want to be within 10 or 20 meters of any given target. Next up, getting into the combos here, she has a few different ones that you can use depending on what hero you're fighting. For starters, the baseline easiest combo would be right click, then E, then shoot, which will pretty much melt any hero under 300 HP. I will say though, it is also important to mix in a shot right before the follow-up dash for extra damage. So the full thing is right click to apply living bullet, dash them up in the air with E, shoot once, then follow up and shoot again. And for characters above 300, like Reed Richards for example, you can just mix in an extra regular shotgun blast or the left shift dash after living bullet for some extra damage. So it would be right click, shoot, E dash, shoot, E follow up, shoot. And Elsa has some insane animation cancels that when all this is put together, it goes extremely quick. This is obviously perfect case scenario here. I mean, our boy ain't even being healed or going into his cheese stick form, but this tends to work for me most of the time with great success. Typically, I like to play Elsa up on the front lines with or just behind my tanks, and whenever I see someone drop to around half health is when I look to initiate these combos. Also, I know this damage is based off headshots, but those are actually extremely easy to hit when you knock someone up with your E. They're just kind of floating in the air in front of you, semi-stunned, just asking for it. Try it out. Next combo I want to go over is with the ultimate. It might seem like Elsa's just running lobbies whenever that big monster comes out, but 95% of the time, if you just send it out and ram people into the wall, it's not going to fully one-tap kill anybody. You have to mix in some more damage in there while they're fully exposed. So for this, I like to save my right click and E dash to combo with the ultimate. For starters, I'll send out Big Beast Man. Then once they're all grouped up, you have a free shot for living bullet, which adds damage. Then finally you hit them with E-dash on the way back, which most of the time seals the deal. This still doesn't kill most tanks if they have full health, but DPS or support characters, it works like a dream. Even Reed here, Mr. 375 HP, is no match for it if you throw in an extra shotgun blast. And with that being said, folks, I think that's gonna about do it here for our video today. I wanted to try to keep this a bit shorter because I've made these kind of tips and tricks videos in the past and they've just winded up being extremely long. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't, but either way, thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out what your boy had to say. Like I mentioned in the intro, I only really make these for characters I feel really confident about, and hopefully you found something useful to help you out in your gameplay. If there's anything that you know about that I missed, feel free to drop it down in the comment section below, so we're not leaving any stone unturned here. This is a communal effort, you know what I'm saying, and we're all better players with all available information at our disposal. But yeah, I think we're just gonna go ahead and call it here. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more content like this, because I would greatly appreciate it. And while you're here, feel free to check out some of my other Marvel Rivals videos. I'm sure there's something on this channel that you might enjoy. But alright, that's enough from me. Take it easy, everyone. Have a good one. This has been Lunar, and welcome to Bound.